Hi everybody, it's Deb here with Curating Memories. Welcome back to my channel, you guys. I hope you guys are having a great day. And today we are going to be making the journal using the card kit with the template that comes inside of it. And this is the template that you'll get inside of the card kit. It's called Memory Journal and it is by Studio Light. And this is super cool. So it comes with templates to make pockets. It makes a little strap closure. And then this is the template that will make your cover, the base journal, right? And then it also makes the pages that goes inside as well as your mats that fit inside of your pages and on the cover of your book if you want to do that. It also makes the buckle right here, okay, and it's super easy to make, which I already kind of did a little template for myself because I wanted to make sure, I wanted to see how it worked, right? So I went ahead and made one. I didn't decorate it or anything because I thought, you know what, I'm going to make one. I'm going to show you how to use this. So I'm super excited. There's going to be a few different variations to make this journal from myself, Kim, and from Dana. So I know Kim and I will be posting ours probably on the Trace Jolie YouTube channel, and mine will always be here on my channel. And then for Dana's, you'll want to go to the blog. So of course you'll go to Trace Jolie and kits, and then you'll go to the blog on this website. I'll put that link down below for you so you can check out her blog when she posts it. And so yeah, and I don't know when she'll be posting it, so mine may be after hers or it may be before hers. I don't know. So you'll just have to check out the blog and see. So if it's before mine, I'll put the link down below and you can check it out. So anyway, are you guys ready to get started? So let's get busy. Okay, so to get started, you're going to need a piece of 12 by 12 paper, okay? And because this is like almost 12 by 12, it's about actually 11, a little past 11 inches long. So if you have an 11 and a half paper, that's fine. But I'm using a 12 by 12. And I'm going to, actually, you know what? I'll just bring this up here so you can see it a little bit better. So you can place your template on the edge of your paper if you want to. So that way you don't have to draw that part if you don't want, or you can bring it down just a bit. And what I did is I taped mine, okay? So if you're going to put it at the top here, just like this. Now, I did use a corner rounder, and so you can do the same thing if you have, you know, a, corner rounder like this or whatever you use. Just grab that to round your corners, or you can cut this out. So it doesn't matter either way. So I'm just placing some tape here on my template so it does not move, okay? And then what I did is I took my pencil, okay, and I just went ahead and I traced around it, okay? So you'll just trace all the way around, just like this. And I know it's easy. It kind of comes up a little bit, and it kind of slides under, but that's okay. Just, I mean, nobody's going to, you can always erase that later, you know. If you're using black, you don't worry about it because, you know, that kind of hides it. But if you're using white or cream colored paper, you know. So again, you're just going to go ahead and you're going to draw your line. See how it kind of lifts up a little bit? That's okay. So I'm just kind of drawing my line around it. There we go. So here I sped up this portion of the video because I'm just drawing around the entire template, and this is one of the ways that you can do your journal. I was going to say, the other thing you can do is get your little stylus or whatever you use to score your lines, and you can actually score around it. So if you wanted to, you could score around your little template and then cut it out. So you'll just go ahead and score around your template. Again, you want to kind of hold it down or tape it down. Okay. I didn't tape my sides, but I would suggest you tape it if you want to. And you could just get plain old washi tape, you know, whatever you want to use. And you'll just score around this, just like that. Okay. It's a little easier, I think, to score it than to draw it, but, you know, I don't mind either one. So let's see here. So you're just going to go ahead and score that, just like that. Okay. When you're using this template. Okay. And then before you lift this off, you want to score the two inside lines. This is actually going to be your spine. Okay. So this is your spine. So you're just going to go ahead and do that. Now you can go ahead and you can, there's two little dots on this, and I just drew mine in just like that. So I knew where the holes were. Then you can go ahead and you can just lift this up and you can cut this out now. Okay. And then save this piece down here because we will be using this scrap piece for the pockets or for other pages. And I'm going to show you how to do that in just a bit. So I'm going to cut this out. And you can either use your scissors or you can use your cutter, your trimmer, whatever you want. So once you get this done, you're going to go ahead and you're just going to fold over your areas, okay, just like that, because we scored the middle part. Just going to fold those over, super easy peasy, just like that. And then what you want to do is go ahead and bring your ends together, and this is where I just went ahead and used my punch to punch the edges. So you can do this however you want. If you have a different one, you can use that one. And I'm just going to go ahead. Now, if they're uneven, you can definitely go back in and even everything up. You know, there's no harm in that. Just go ahead and even that up. That. Oh, I used the larger corner rounder. I didn't mean to. So anyway, but you can use the larger corner rounder or the smaller one. I accidentally used the larger one. So, but that's okay. So now you're done. And if you have any marks on the sides like this, you can go ahead and erase them. Okay, all right. So there is our base. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and grab if you have another piece of 12 by 12, or you can use a smaller sheet, whatever you want to do. It doesn't matter because we're going to use our scraps. Okay, so you won't hopefully have any scraps left over. So the next thing we're going to do is grab our template again. Okay. And you're going to, again, tape this down, all right? So I'm going to tape this down here. Oh, and let me, you know what, I'm going to bring it up because my camera is not going all the way down for some reason. I don't know why. Okay, so you're going to go ahead, and I'm putting my tape here, okay? It doesn't really matter. You can score over your tape if you want to. And then I'm going to put my tape down here. I'm going to put one over here. Okay, just like that. All right, and you can put more if you want more. What you're going to do is you're going to get your, again, your pen or your stylus, whatever one you want, and you're just going to go ahead and you're going to, that inner, this second or the first score line that goes all the way around this way like this, it's like right, it's the score line that's from the edge here, that's on the inner side here. You're going to score that, okay? So you're just going to score all the way around, okay? And again, if you want to, you can draw your lines. You don't have to score it if you don't want to. I just went ahead and scored mine, but you don't have to if you don't want to. And I'm just going to go ahead and remove my tape for a second. And then once I'm done, put my tape back on. Okay. This is actually going to create your page. Okay. So you're going to go ahead and do that. And then do the other side. The other thing you're going to do is after you get done scoring this area, you're going to go ahead and score down the middle, okay? This is both of your, this is, again, part of your spine, okay? So you're going to go ahead and do that. And I'm going to draw my little holes so I know where my holes are, okay? And I'm just going to go ahead and finish scoring this. Now you can take this off. All right. And now you can see where my score lines are, right? And you can go ahead and you can cut this out. All right. So again, you're going to go ahead and just cut this out. Or you can use your trimmer if you want to do that. Okay, so here I'm just using my large scissors to cut this out, but you can use your trimmer too. And you're just going to cut along your scored lines. It's super easy. And then you're going to go ahead and you're going to grab your corner punch and you're going to go ahead and punch your corners as well. So here I'm just going to grab my corner punch, punch all 4 of the corners. Okay, we're going to go ahead and fold these in. Okay. So you're just going to go ahead, fold where you scored. Okay, just like that. Now this is one of your pages, okay, and that is actually going to fit right inside of here, just like this, okay? So now you've got your pages, and you can actually glue those together if you want to, or you can go ahead and just sew them together. I am actually going to glue mine together. Next, we're going to make some other little flaps, okay? And what we're going to do is that extra piece that you have left over, and I don't know, like, I didn't really measure them, but they're about 5 inches, I believe. I thought they were a little shorter than that, but they're about 5 inches long, right? And I have 3 of them. So this one is actually smaller. This one's actually 4 and almost 4 3/4. So what you're going to do with the 5-inch ones is we're going to go ahead and make a couple of other pages. So we're going to bring back our template over. Okay. And I'm going to put my little tapes here. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to line this up. You're going to grab your little extra sheet that you've got, the scrap. You're going to line on this side where the buckle is, the first score line, okay? You're going to line that up with the edge of your paper, okay? Just like this. And you're going to go ahead and tack that down with some tape, okay? Just like that. And all right, you're going to tack that down. And I'm going to grab some more of my little tape here. Now, if you wonder what this tape is, it's just kind of like washi tape. I got it from scrapbook.com. And if you want, I can put the link down below for you. That way you can grab it. Okay. So there's that. Okay. Now what you're going to do is you're just going to score to the end of your paper. Okay. So basically you're just going to score that same second line from the edge of your template. You're just going to go ahead and score right to the end of that. Okay. That's all you're going to do. Right there. Okay. Whoop. Oh, I messed up. Okay. It's scored. So what you're going to do is then you're going to go ahead and you're going to score that second line that's from the that first line here of the spine area. Okay, you're just going to score that all the way down. Okay, just like that. Now that is a page. Okay, and when you pull this off, you will see that you're going to have a little flap. So that's actually going to be a page. So you're just going to go ahead and you're going to cut that. Just cut that straight across. And if you are kind of crooked, you can just go ahead and cut that on your trimmer, because I might be a little crooked, I don't know. And then you're going to go ahead and you're going to fold that in, right? There you go. And there you go. And then that is going to fit inside of your other page, just like this. So you can have multiple little pages, okay? And then you can make another one of these. So you can have it here, you can have it here. And so yeah, so we're going to do that. Or if you wanted to, you could have it like this, okay? However you want your pages to be done. So you can make another one. So probably make another one. And you can actually do the same thing for this little square. So if you wanted to, you can make this into a little pocket. All you're going to do is grab your template, scoot it over, place it on that last or that first score line that's on your template. And you're just going to go ahead and score down. Whoops, sorry guys. Just score that down. I think I got crooked. There we go. Just score that down just like that. And then fold it over. And there you go. Now you have a little pocket, or not a little pocket, a little tiny page to put some things on. Okay, so the next thing you're going to do is you're going to grab another scrap piece of paper and you're going to go ahead and place the long plastic strip on this. This is going to be our closure, so it's the little strip that's going to fold over and close with the belt buckle. So you're just going to trace that, and I just butted mine up to the edge of the paper and then traced to the bottom part and then the side. And then you're going to go ahead and grab the template that has the buckle on it and then go ahead and adhere that down with your washi tape. You're going to grab your stylus or your bone folder and you're just going to go ahead and, you know, score that inner piece and all the way around for that buckle, and you can see that there. Then you're going to go ahead and grab your larger pocket and you're going to go ahead and again use your washi tape or whatever to adhere that down for a little bit, and you're going to go ahead and you're going to grab your pencil and you're going to go around the outer edge of that template, okay, and you're just going to trace all the way around. Now, what I did is wherever my tape was sitting, if it was in the way, I just removed it for a little bit and then put it back on top. And again, you're just going to go all the way around that pocket template and just draw your line around that, okay? Next, you're going to go ahead and you're going to grab your stylus or your bone folder, and that sides where they are the bottom and the left and right side, you're going to score that first score line that's right above the edge of your template. That's going to make your flaps to create your pocket. Okay, so now we're doing the second pocket, which is the smaller template, and you're just going to go ahead and use that at the same way you did the larger one, where you tack it down with your washi tape, and then you're going to go ahead and draw around that template on the outer edge, okay? And then once you're done with that, you're going to grab your bone folder or your stylus, whatever you want to use, and you're going to score on the left and right and bottom little lines there to create your tabs that fold in to the back for your pocket, as I'm doing here. So that's what's going to create your pockets, okay? And you can make however many pockets you want. I only did 2 of these, but because in this kit we have a lot of pockets that are already perforated for you, so I didn't make a whole lot of pockets using the template. I just made 2. The next thing I'm doing here is I'm going to go ahead and tack this down. This is the pocket template again, and I'm sharing how, if you want to create the mat for the front of your pocket, you can go ahead and you can draw around the whole entire thing to create the little tab on top as well, or you can just go ahead and draw a line around that second that second opening, the lines, to create that little mat, okay? So again, it's going to be that second score line from the left and right and the bottom, and then the first little line that's above the template, right below the tab on your template, you're going to go ahead and draw around that rectangle. And that's how you're going to create your mats for the front of your pocket. Okay, so now you're going to go ahead and you're going to place some glue in the middle of the base of your journal that we cut out. And then you're going to get that second piece that we cut out, which is the pages, and you're going to go ahead and glue those 2 together. Now again, you don't have to glue yours together if you don't want to. I did, and I'm actually not going to sew these together, but you can if you'd like. You can go ahead and you can, I'm going to place brads on mine, and we'll get to that. I'll show you that after we're done decorating and everything. So here are the little pages that we made with our scraps. Now these are just with the 1/2 inch scored little flap that we place in the spine, And those are going to go again right in the spine. Just going to go ahead and adhere that on just like that. And these are smaller pages because they are made from our scraps, so they're not going to be as large as the other ones. And you can make more pages like the first one we did with the template, or use your scraps like I did here. And here we're going to go ahead and just add a few other little things. Again, I made a lot of different little flaps and stuff using the scraps that we had left over. And you can do the same thing. And this is your book, so you can design this journal however you would like. So you know, you can definitely add your own twist to it, add flaps and whatever, you know, up on top. You can add them on the side, whatever you'd like. Okay, so now we're going to cut out the pockets, and you're just going to go ahead and trim around the line that you either scored or drew around the entire template. And you're just going to go ahead and cut both of these out. Once you're done cutting them out, you're going to go ahead and you can go ahead and fold these in. Now, if you didn't score it and you drew around it, you can definitely go ahead and grab your bone folder or, you know, your stylus and score those lines, so that way they're a little bit easier to fold. Or you can score them in your scoreboard, however you want to do that. And then you're going to go ahead and just fold those little flaps back and burnish those down, and you have your pockets. Okay, so to make your mat, you're going to grab your template, and that inner third or second line that is on the template, you're going to go ahead and trace all around that. That is what's going to make your mat. Okay, so then you can go ahead and you can cut that out. Next, I'm going to go ahead, I'm placing glue all over the front of my journal, and then I'm actually gluing that to one of the 6x6 pages. Okay, now I'm just gluing to the back of that, and then I'm going to cut around it. I thought this would be the best way to do it. It's the easiest way, and it's, you know, that way you don't have to worry about measuring and cutting it and everything. You just go ahead and butt that up, and then you cut around your template or your base journal. So that is what I'm going to do here, and I'm doing the same thing for the back. Okay, so once you cover that front and back, you can go ahead and decorate this the way that you would like, and there is your mat. Now, I did add a couple of other different mats on mine, so you can do the same if you'd like. Now we're moving on to the closure, and this is the little belt, and we're going to cover the front and the back of this. Now I did the front, or whatever, doesn't matter. You'll cover one side first, and then you'll go ahead and cut that, and then cover the other side, and then cut that. Okay, I just used strips that were already cut down from what I matted my pages with. Next, we're going to go ahead and we're going to do the little belt buckle. So before I covered the belt buckle, I went ahead and cut out the inner little slits. Okay, so, and we made those when we were, you know, either you scored it or you traced it. And so I did, however, make these a little longer and a little wider. Okay, not too much wider, but you want to make it a little wider because I noticed it was kind of a tight fit, especially once you get the extra added cardstock on top of the little belt closure piece. So I did do that. So you'll go ahead and gauge it the way, you know, just kind of gauge it however, whatever you want it to, that fits your needs. Again, this is your little booklet, and you can design this. You don't even have to use the buckle if you don't want to. It's totally up to you, however you want to use or design your journal. Now, after I went ahead and cut my slits, I covered one side first, and then I did cover the other side, but you really don't need to if you're going to use it, because it's going to be, you know, face down and attached to the front of your booklet. So I went ahead and cut out around the little buckle. And then you're going to place this back down on your little mat, and you're going to go ahead and do your slits again. Now, this is where I noticed after I had this cut out that I needed to elongate the little slits a little bit more and make them a little wider for the little belt closure that we were using. So here is where I just put this back on the little board and then cut the slits a little bit wider, and I also cut them a little bit longer. And again, you're just going to go ahead and test this to however you want. And if you cut your belt smaller, that works too. You can definitely take, you know, 1/4 of an inch or 1/8 of an inch off of the end there. So for the little flaps that I created out of the scraps that we had, these are the measurements that I have. And so, but you can create yours however you would like. Okay, so the next thing I did is I am going to create the little closure, and you're going to cut your belt in half and go ahead and score every 1/4 inch up to about 1.5. And then you're going to go ahead and bend all of these little score lines to create a little, you know, bendable belt for your closure. This is going to give a really nice look, so when you're closing your journal, if it's thick, it's not going to, you know, cause any problems. So the next thing I did is I went ahead and placed some tape on the back of my belt at the end, okay, not at the front of the belt, but at the end back of your belt, so you can add that on to the back of your booklet. And then you're going to go ahead and place that on. Now, I noticed that mine was way down low, and I didn't want it that low, so I ripped it off. Or not ripped it off, but I took it off, and then I replaced it back on there, and just really burnished that in so it's nice and, you know, adhered down. And then I wanted to share with you what I did so far in the book. Now, I stuck in the little flaps, and then I went ahead and papered them, and I think it's gonna look so nice, you guys. So next, you're gonna go ahead and cut out all of your mats for your booklet. Okay, so this is going to be the mat for the front of my book, and so I grabbed my X-Acto knife and I'm just cutting where that little letter is behind the envelope, and then where the envelope is, the opening, I'm just making that an opened area for some little tags or whatever I want to put in there. And I know this is going to butt up against my little belt closure, so you know, be prepared for that. If you don't want to do this part, you don't have to. Then I'm going to just glue around the edges, and I'm going to go ahead and back this up on some gold cardstock. So I went ahead and grabbed some gold cardstock and then just backed that up, and then I'm going to go ahead and place that down on the front of my little journal here. And I just think that these colors are so pretty. I would have never thought about using like a tan or, you know, with a purple color or anything like that, but it really does coordinate very well, especially with the little purple flowers and everything. So pretty. And then they have splashes of green in here, which is really pretty as well. Okay, so now we're going to add the belt buckle, and I had a couple of problems with this. So I'm going to show you a little trick that I did. Now, mine kept coming off. I don't know why it kept popping off, but it did. So I originally did it this way, right? And it just didn't seem like it was latching, no matter how much I went in with the bone folder to kind of stretch out the middle part, burnish down the top and the bottom so it wouldn't pop off. And no matter how much I did this, it just was not working right. So I decided to go ahead and pull it off. And I decided to go ahead and place the middle piece on the inside and glue that down. And then I went ahead and came in with some foam strips and put them on the bottom and the top. Not on the sides, just on the bottom and the top, okay? Just like this. Now these strips are really thin and I get them from Amazon, so I'll leave the link down below in case you want to use them. They're great for shaker cards too. I apologize, my daughter's kitty is in the way. I apologize. So I went ahead and placed this back on. She's in desperate need of some love, you guys. So I apologize. And it worked perfectly. It didn't pop off. It was easy to latch and I loved it. So I went ahead and just left it the way it was. It was great. And then I went ahead and covered everything. I went ahead and did the whole booklet and it looks great. So that is how the book looks. Now we're going to do the spine. So for the spine, I went and came in with the little picker tool and poked my holes. Okay, and then I'm going to add some strips. So I'm going to cover that inner side part of the spine, and then I'm going to cover the outside of the spine. And so we're just going to go ahead, we're going to glue this on. Now after you glue the outside on first, you're going to go ahead and burnish that down really good. Poke your holes through, okay, because you do not want to have, you know, cover both sides and then you don't know where your holes are. So I went ahead and I added my brads to the outside, okay, and that is what I used for just a little decoration. So I went ahead and added my brads in there. And then I'm going to cover the inside of that spine, and I really like how this looks. Now again, you can sew this together if you want to. I didn't want to do that, so I just liked it how it looks with the little brads. Now I'm covering the pockets, and I just was going to use this little tags to cover the pockets and then cover them with the large pieces that I had left over from cutting down my for my mats. Now for those of you who are seasoned, you know how your pockets go on, but if you're new, then once you get your flaps burnished down on the back, you'll go ahead and add your adhesive and then just go ahead and add them onto your page wherever you want them. Now I wanted them to be sideways, so I thought, because I just love sideways pockets, I just think they add a lot of character to your pages, and they're great for also just sliding in little mats and stuff, photo mats and or little booklets and things. So we went ahead and did that. Here's a fun little tip that I wanted to give you guys, that you could make these little tags into a little flip book, and you just cut these out, and then you're going to go ahead and you're going to fold this in half. And I think this is a great little way to use any of your tags that you have in your kits. So here we're going to go ahead and we're just going to trim these down, and then you're going to go ahead and you're going to fold up that bottom piece on the longer side, and then you're going to go ahead and put 2 staples on the bottom, so that way it creates kind of like a matchbook, and you'll see here in just a minute. Now here are the pockets that are adhered down, and here are a couple of the pockets we're going to adhere down that were punched out from the kit. Now again, these pockets and some of the little items, here's the little tag booklet, match booklet. Some of these little these little pockets are already perforated for you, so all you have to do is just punch them out. And then here on this little flap here, I went ahead and drew some lines for journaling, so you could definitely journal on the back of that. And I think that this little book would be really good for, like, if you have a book club or if you read books throughout the year. What a great way to journal and show or memorize some of your favorite books that you've read throughout the year, and you can, you know, go back and say, oh yeah, I remember that book, you know, that was a really good book, I need to read that again. You know, things like that. I know I have a few in my mind that I would love to read again. I just haven't had time to do that yet, but yeah, so I just thought that this was a super cute little journal for, like, you know, book lovers. Okay, you guys, we're done with our journal, and I think that this turned out super pretty and super easy to make. So what I did is I went ahead and matted the front, okay, and then we used a little pocket here, fussy cut out the little book and the gal from one of the cut apart cards and stuck them inside, and used some brads for the front of the pocket with Create Memories. Then I went ahead and we cut the slit in this area here. Let me go ahead and remove this. Now this does not come out because it's glued down with these flowers inside of this little envelope that we cut, but these two little pieces come out, and we cut a slit right back here on this pattern paper because this is like a little note card or something, or a letter, and these little pieces, these little tags just fit in right just like that. Then I went ahead and stuck some of the flat back pearls in the two corners up above and down below. And then I went ahead and added some brads to the spine. And then on the back, I went ahead and added the same little pattern paper that's in the front of our book. And and you might ask how I got two of those. Well, I bought two of these, and so I actually bought one of them. So the other one I get as my design team package. So I did buy an extra one, and so to create this beautiful little journal. And then here I added some little tags that were in the kit, and then a little pocket up here, so these just slide in just like that, okay, and they just lay just like that. This little flap is one of the extra scrap pieces that we used to create some of our little flaps, and also from our pockets and such from the 12 by 12 piece of paper. Then I went ahead and added like a little photo piece here, photo mat, or you can use it as a journal card. So I just thought that this was super cute. And then here, this is the large pocket. Here is one of the large tags that I covered the back and then did the front. And then here are the 4x4 little cards that come in the little, pattern page that is cut apart cards. And so I just folded them, used the little trim that we got in our kit, and just tied them together to create a little booklet that will slide right into your pocket here. And I just thought that was super cute idea. And then used the little flags that we got and used those right here on the edge of the pockets, so that way if you want you can write down something. And I stuck a brad so they turn, so if you wanted to put, you know, something here like maybe a date or name or something, you could do that, or it can go up. So I just thought that was super cute. Then I decorated some of the pockets with the leftover pieces that I had little images on, and fussy cut them out and added some little sayings on here. Here is one of the little punch-out pockets that we get, or I should say envelopes, and I went ahead and just stuck that on a page with one of the butterflies I fussy cut out. Again, these are some of the little tiny cut-apart cards that are in the kit that I cut apart and just folded and made them like little booklets so you can journal in those. And I just thought that that was super cute idea, and I just think that's so cute. And then you turn it, you have a pocket here that is one of the punch-out pockets from the kit, along with some tags. Now this little tag I shared how to do with just cutting out the tag, stapled the bottom, covered the inside, so this could be a little journal piece or a little picture piece. Here are some little cut apart cards that I just stuck in this little pocket. And then I went ahead and added a photo mat here and then just stuck one in here behind. And those turned out super cute. And then here is a little tag. I think this goes in here. So this I loved playing for journaling or little whatever you want to stick on there. And then here I just thought that this would be cute for, again, some little cards and little tags. And I stuck these two little envelopes. One is, you know, up here, and the other one is just kind of slanted going the other way. And I just thought that that was a super cute idea. It's really nice to have them together, and you can stick little notes in here, or, you know, little photos. If you have like a little photo maker, you know, you can stick little photos in there. I thought that was super cute. And then I went ahead and just layered some flowers, a little cut apart card, and some words. On this side here, I have some little bookmark tags, and then one of the little punch out pockets. It says be happy with a little flower. And then I have a little card that fits right into that little pocket. Now this little flap here, I went ahead and fussy cut out this girl and stuck one of the little cut apart cards right behind her that has a booklet or a little journal on it. And then on the back, I went ahead and drew some lines for my journaling. And then here is a nice little spot for journaling, or stick a photo in here. And then here is another one of those punch out pockets that we got with some words on it. And then here are, again, some cut apart cards from the kit, and I just folded them and put them together. Now with these little cards or little pieces, you can go ahead and sew them together to create like a little booklet, or you can just, you know, leave them like this and stick them inside of your pocket. I just thought that was super cute. You turn the page and you have your little, your second pocket here, and I just decorated this with some of the pieces that I fussy cut out. Again, another little piece that's folded in half. It's a cut apart piece, and same thing with this one. This one's a cut apart card, and it's just folded in half and stuck right back in through here with the little flag that you can write names or dates on. You can turn it this way, or you can turn it this way. Here's another little piece that I fussy cut out, and this is just a little tuck spot. So just like that. You turn it, and then you have this piece. Now this piece is raised by some foam tape on the back, and this is one of the cut apart cards that's 4x4, and you can just lift that up, put some photos inside or journal, and then just fold it back down. And then this is the back. And I just think that this turned out super cute. I hope that you guys like it. It just really, it was so fun to create. And so I hope y'all like it. Thank you so much for joining me. I have all of the links down below for you. Take care, and I will be talking to you soon. Bye. Thanks for joining me today, y'all. I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial, and head on over to Trace Jolie to check out their shop. Please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and comment, and join me Friday nights at 4:30 Central Time.